The most dangerous person in the room is not always the loudest, strongest, or most successful one. Sometimes it is the person who has stopped being afraid of failure, rejection, embarrassment, and other people's opinions. Once you train your mind to trust yourself under pressure, you become difficult to control. Think about how much of your life may have been shaped by one simple question. What will people think? That question can make you stay silent when you should speak, remain where you should leave, and delay opportunities because you fear looking foolish. The moment you stop letting other people's opinions control your decisions, something inside you begins to change. Confidence is not about believing that you are better than everyone else. It is about knowing that you do not need to be better than anyone else to believe in yourself. You can be imperfect, inexperienced, nervous, and still move forward with your head held high. Most people wait for confidence before taking action, but that is backwards. You take action first, survive the discomfort, learn from the experience, and then your brain begins to trust you more. Every uncomfortable situation you handle becomes evidence that you can handle the next one. Think about the last time you avoided something because you were afraid of failing. Maybe you wanted to start a project, apply for an opportunity, speak your opinion, or have a difficult conversation, but your mind gave you reasons to wait. The temporary relief may have felt comfortable, but it also taught your brain that fear was in control. Now imagine doing the opposite. You feel nervous, but you speak. You feel uncertain, but you begin. You fear rejection, but you ask anyway. You might not get the result you wanted, but you gain something more valuable. Proof that fear can exist without controlling your behavior. This is how real confidence is built, through repeated evidence. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, finish something difficult, or do what you said you would do when nobody is watching, you strengthen your relationship with yourself. Slowly, your mind begins to believe, when I decide something, I can trust myself to follow through. Self-trust is more powerful than temporary motivation. Motivation disappears when you are tired, stressed, disappointed, or distracted, but discipline teaches you to continue even when motivation is gone. The more often you act according to your decisions instead of your moods, the stronger your confidence becomes. And this is only the beginning. Once you learn to trust yourself, you can start breaking the chains that keep confidence weak. Fear of judgment, the need for approval, comparison, and the belief that you must be perfect before feeling confident. Train your mind long enough, and eventually, you will not need the world to convince you that you are capable. You will already know it. One of the biggest things destroying your confidence may not be failure at all. It may be your constant need to be accepted. When you need everyone to like you, agree with you, or approve of your choices, you give other people control over how you feel about yourself. Real confidence begins when you understand that being respected is more important than being universally liked. You will eventually discover that some people will misunderstand you no matter how carefully you explain yourself. Others may criticize your goals because they cannot imagine themselves doing what you are trying to do. You cannot build a strong life while constantly changing your direction just to make other people comfortable. This does not mean ignoring every piece of criticism. Confident people can listen, accept correction, and admit when they are wrong without feeling that their entire identity has been attacked. The difference is that they take useful information from criticism without allowing someone else's opinion to become a definition of their worth. Comparison is another trap that quietly destroys self-belief. You see someone else's success, confidence, money, appearance, or lifestyle, and suddenly your own progress feels insignificant, but you are comparing your private struggles with someone else's visible results, while ignoring the years, failures, sacrifices, and circumstances that created what you see. Instead of asking, "Why am I not where they are?" ask, "Am I becoming better than I was before?" That question brings your attention back to the only competition that truly matters. Your goal is not to become someone else. Your goal is to become a stronger version of yourself. You also need to stop waiting until you feel completely ready. There will always be another skill to learn, another weakness to fix, or another reason to postpone taking the next step. Confidence grows when you move forward while knowing that you are still learning. The next time your mind says, "What if I fail?" do not immediately run from the possibility. Ask yourself, "What if I learn something?" Failure can hurt your pride, but it can also reveal what needs to change, and a confident person knows how to turn experience into improvement. Remember that confidence does not require perfection. You can walk into a room without being the smartest person there, ask a question when you do not understand something, and admit that you made a mistake without feeling smaller. The strongest people are not those who pretend to know everything, but those who are secure enough to keep learning. And when you stop chasing approval, comparison, and perfection, something powerful happens. Your attention returns to your own path. Your decisions become clearer, and you begin building confidence from within instead of borrowing it from other people's reactions. But the next step is even more important, because confidence becomes truly powerful when you learn to act despite fear. Confidence becomes real when it changes the way you act. You can understand every principle about confidence, but if you keep avoiding difficult situations, your mind will never receive the evidence it needs to trust you. The fastest way to strengthen confidence is to repeatedly do things that make you slightly uncomfortable. Start with the small things you normally avoid. Make the phone call, ask the question, share your opinion, introduce yourself, or speak up when you would usually remain silent. These moments may seem insignificant, but every one of them teaches your brain that discomfort is something you can handle. Do not wait until fear disappears before taking action. Fear often becomes smaller only after you move toward the thing that scares you. When you act while feeling nervous, you teach yourself that courage does not require the absence of fear. Your body can also influence the way your mind feels. Stand upright, breathe slowly, maintain natural eye contact, and speak clearly instead of rushing your words because you are afraid of being judged. You are not pretending to be confident. You are training your body to communicate the calmness you want your mind to develop. Another powerful habit is making decisions without constantly asking everyone else what you should do. Take enough time to understand the situation, consider the consequences, and then choose a direction. You may sometimes make the wrong decision, but learning to correct a mistake is far more valuable than spending your life afraid of making one. Discipline takes this even further. When you complete an important task even though you are tired, exercise when you have no motivation, or finish something you wanted to quit, you prove that your mood does not control your behavior. Every time you keep moving without needing perfect motivation, your respect for yourself grows. You should also learn to speak to yourself differently after failure. One bad result does not mean you are incapable, and one rejection does not mean you are unwanted. Instead of asking, "What is wrong with me?" ask, "What can this experience teach me?" This shift changes everything because failure stops becoming a judgment and starts becoming information. You can lose an opportunity and still improve, make a mistake and still grow, or be rejected and still continue towards something better. A confident mind does not need every attempt to succeed because it trusts itself to learn from every attempt. Eventually, these small actions begin changing your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who always avoids difficult situations and start seeing yourself as someone who can face them, adapt, and keep going. And when you reach that point, fear may still appear, but it no longer gets to decide what you do next. There is another level of confidence that begins when you stop trying to control how everyone sees you. You realize that you cannot make everyone understand your intentions, appreciate your personality, or agree with your choices. The more comfortable you become with being misunderstood, the less power other people's opinions have over your mind. This is where boundaries become important. A confident person can be kind without saying yes to everything, respectful without accepting disrespect, and helpful without allowing others to take advantage of them. Saying no is not an act of selfishness when saying yes would mean betraying your own priorities. You also do not need to explain every decision you make. Sometimes people will demand an explanation simply because they dislike your choice, not because they genuinely need to understand it. When you know your reasons and your values are clear, you can calmly stand by your decision without turning every disagreement into a debate. Confidence also changes the way you communicate. Stop rushing your words because you are afraid of being interrupted. Stop apologizing for every small request, and stop weakening your statements with unnecessary doubt. Speak clearly, listen carefully, and allow your words to carry the calmness of someone who does not need to prove anything. But confidence should never become arrogance. Arrogance says, "I am better than you," while confidence says, "I know my worth without needing to compare myself with you." The strongest person in the room is often the one who can respect other people's strengths without feeling threatened by them. You also need to become comfortable with silence. Not every insult deserves a response. Not every disagreement deserves an argument, and not every person deserves access to your energy. Sometimes walking away calmly is a stronger demonstration of confidence than winning an argument. Your identity should also be built around values rather than appearances. Ask yourself who you are when nobody is watching, when there is no applause, and when doing the right thing gives you no immediate reward. The answer to that question tells you far more about your confidence than how impressive you appear in public. There will still be days when you doubt yourself, feel insecure, or wonder whether you are good enough. The goal is not to eliminate those feelings completely, but to stop treating every insecure thought as if it were a fact. You can notice the doubt, learn from it when necessary, and still choose to move forward. When you reach this level, confidence becomes quieter but much stronger. You no longer need to prove your value through attention, arguments, achievements, or approval, because your sense of worth is becoming rooted inside you. And once that foundation is strong, the final step is learning how to remain confident when life itself begins testing you. The strongest kind of confidence appears when life stops going according to your plan. Anyone can feel confident when everything is working, people are supportive, and opportunities are coming easily. The real test is whether you can trust yourself when you face rejection, failure, criticism, uncertainty, or a completely unexpected setback. You do not need to know exactly what the future will bring. You only need to believe that whatever happens, you will find a way to respond. That mindset changes the question from, "What if everything goes wrong?" to, "If something goes wrong, what will I do next?" This is why confidence should never depend on perfect circumstances. Circumstances can change overnight, but the ability to adapt can stay with you for life. When you trust your ability to learn, adjust, and begin again, uncertainty becomes less frightening. Remember everything you have been training yourself to do. You learned to keep promises to yourself, face discomfort, stop chasing approval, make decisions, build discipline, set boundaries, and learn from failure. None of these habits make you invincible, but together they create something powerful, a person who knows they can recover. And recovery is one of the deepest forms of confidence. You may lose an opportunity, experience rejection, make a serious mistake, or watch something you worked hard for disappear. It may hurt, but confidence reminds you that pain is not the end of your story. Never confuse confidence with believing that you are better than everyone else. Arrogance needs to prove its superiority, while confidence does not need a comparison to feel valuable. A truly confident person can celebrate another person's success without feeling that their own worth has become smaller. From now on, stop waiting to feel confident before taking the next step. Take the step, face the discomfort, learn what happens, and let the experience build your confidence. You do not become strong by thinking about courage. You become strong by repeatedly doing what requires courage. There will be moments when your old fears return and tell you that you are not ready. When that happens, remember that readiness is often created through action, and you have already survived difficult moments that once seemed impossible. Your job is not to guarantee success, but to become the kind of person who keeps moving regardless of the outcome. Train your mind until your first response to difficulty is not panic, but curiosity. Not why me, but what now. Become someone who can stand alone without feeling lonely, hear criticism without collapsing, face rejection without losing self-respect, and start again without being ashamed. That is dangerously confident. Not a person who believes nothing can hurt them, but a person who knows that even when life hurts, they can rise, rebuild, and continue.